There was one period I was usually doing this and read my journal with me. I've not done this in a while, yeah. And some people teased me that I'm always just giving short clip. Like I'll just come and say, "Oh, I'm reading this book," and I'll actually not give context of what the book is about. There is a particular book I was talking about that period. The last time I made a video, and it was the power of now because I mentioned how the book I was reading. Then let me give a clip concerning that book. So there's some points I brought out from the book, and this is one from my journal. So I'm reading from my journal because the concept is read my journal with me because most I always write it. So there's this particular part of the book I think it interests me so much and I wrote it down. So I'm just going to read out whatever I wrote. You want what you have, you just cannot feel it because your mind is making too much noise. So the book was talking about how our mind makes so much noise that at times it distracts us from concentrating to actually make a real deal from what we have in our hands. Like, because the mind is constantly making noise, the mind is constantly speaking. So in cases, it gets too clouded for you to be able to actually coordinate what you have in your hands, coordinate the actual idea and vision you have to make something out of it because there's so much doubt, so much noise, so much should it be, should it not be, is this you, this not you, this the Holy Spirit, is this me, is this God, is this whatever I feel. So that's a lot of noise coming in. So now I'm reading it again. It said, you want what you have. So you already have it because you already have the vision, you already have the goal, you already have the conviction, you already have what is burning in your heart. So you already have it in you. You just need to put it into action for it to come into manifestation. There's a collective mind pattern that keeps you in bondage. So that's I'm very big on patterns, yeah. So there's a collective mind pattern that puts you in bondage. If you find yourself often doubting the manifestation or occurrence of something, expecting a miracle, you want God to turn up for you for something. And that is when you begin to have the biggest doubt. Look at it as a pattern. The last time you needed a particular big miracle from God, did you also experience this kind of shaking and doubt? The other time also you needed God to turn up for you for something. Is there like a pattern? Is there a pattern that tends to happen in your mind? If there is, then that's a collective pattern that's putting you in bondage. So there's a collective mind pattern that can keep you in bondage. I'm just giving context to what I wrote. No matter where you are, you can free yourself from the enslavement of your mind. So your mind can you can become a slave of your mind if you don't know how to fight against your mind trying to take control of you. If you don't know how to keep your mind quiet, if you don't know how to shut your mind, and how to shut your mind up, it's actually true words. You should know when you're not the one speaking in your mind. How do I put this in words? Because I'm more of a writer. It's easier to write things than to find words. Sometimes you have thoughts, but those thoughts are not actually from you. So there's a level of spiritual depth you will grow that you'll be able to tell when you are not the one speaking. That's a lot of time when doubt comes and questioning comes. In many cases, it's not actually you speaking, but you know, devil comes here. Devil comes uses is it first person singular? Well, yeah, it speaks in a way that it seems like it's you that is speaking, but it's actually not you that is speaking. So you're able to separate when it's your actual mind that is speaking, when the spirit is speaking via your mind, and when it's you that is speaking. So when it's a thought that has a quiet heaviness on you, you rebuke it with your words. You use words to shut it out because if you are speaking, your mind cannot think. So when you are speaking, your mind cannot think. So how to shut your mind up is by speaking. Because when there are words in your mouth, your mind cannot speak. You cannot be speaking and be thinking at the same time. It doesn't work. So how do you shut your mind up? Speak. So you can free yourself from the enslavement of your mind, but you have to use words. I will just read out some. I may not go into a lot of explanation to save time. I'm just hoping it is explanatory on its own because when you write something now you understand what you write exactly. But I'm hoping that when I read them out, it to some extent it gives context by itself. So here, fearlessness of oneself is the enslavement of the mind. The body, the soul, and the spirit are bondless. The sense of fear and anxiety is brought from the mind, which can enslave oneself by building barriers and restrictions to freedom. Until you free yourself from your mind and the enslavement of it, you will not be free from yourself. When you are not free from yourself, you do not give the Holy Spirit the chance to take full control of you. When it's said to die to oneself, it is to be free from the enslavement of your own mind. So you are not your mind. Your mind is formed by experiences, teachings, exposure, sight, hearing, etc. This in many cases clouds the essence of our being and true reality of who we are. Do you have a feeling of oneness with your being, your true self. That is the enlightenment of you. The moment you get to feel an actual oneness with your true self, and it's not being clouded by experience, life, challenges, things you hear, then you're now having an enlightenment of who you actually are. It's a state of connectedness with something immeasurable and indestructible, something that almost periodically is essentially you, but is much greater than you. It is finding your true nature beyond name and form. When you are present, when your attention is fully and immense, is the now. So it's talking about the now. So if you notice, a lot of time when things are going on in your mind, all those noises the mind makes, it's usually talking about the past or the future. The mind actually talks about now. The mind is actually talking about what would happen, what may happen in the future, what should have happened, or what had happened, what could have been avoided. That's what is really in the mind, past or front. Now, for you to control the mind, you have to be conscious of your now. So you have to be conscious of your present state. You can start from as little as when you're working, be conscious of the fact that you're actually working at that moment, like you're picking your steps. Be physically conscious that you're picking your steps. When you are cooking, be physically conscious that you're cooking, physically conscious of what you're doing. What you're trying to do is you're trying to formulate the mind to come into the present reality of what's going on in your life at that moment. That way, you are gradually actually teaching yourself to take control and possession of your mind and your thoughts, to be in the present at that moment and not being clouded by the past and the future. Your being can be felt when you're actually present, but it can never truly be understood mentally. That's where God and the Holy Spirit comes in. So I ask the question here: what causes thoughts to become compulsive? So because your thoughts can become compulsive. That's me now asking a question out from the book. Not being able to stop thinking is a dreadful affliction. So that is me getting an answer from the book. The incessant, that is not stopping, mental noise hinders us from reaching a point of inner stillness, which hinders us from actually reaching the point of being our true self. You know, even the Bible talks about being still. There is something beautiful that comes when you are still.